Viewers, Australia's at a crossroads. Let's look at when shared sacrifice disappeared from public life. Have you ever noticed how rarely modern society speaks about sacrifice unless it is voluntary, temporary, or personally rewarding? The word itself feels uncomfortable. People will sacrifice for careers, for travel, for personal goals. But collective sacrifice for the nation, the community, for future generations, increasingly feels unfamiliar. Yet every stable society was built upon sacrifice. The roads you drive on, the institutions you rely upon, the freedoms you enjoy, the communities you inherit. None appeared by accident. Someone paid a cost. Someone accepted hardship. Someone carried burdens they would never personally benefit from. And that's how civilizations are built. One generation sacrifices so another one can inherit. And the question is, what happens when that claim begins to weaken? Historically, shared sacrifice created social cohesion. Citizens accepted hardship during wars. Communities supported one another during crisis. Families invested in future generations. And people often place long-term stability above immediate gratification. Not perfectly, but consistently enough to strengthen the nation. And over time, however, cultural priorities shifted. Immediate satisfaction became more important. Individual fulfilment became central. Personal autonomy expanded. And future obligations became increasingly negotiable. The language of sacrifice slowly retreated, and the consequences were not immediately visible. Society continued functioning, institutions remained operational, communities remained intact, but underneath something changed. Citizens increasingly expected benefits without corresponding burdens. Political leaders promised outcomes without discussing costs. Institutions spoke about rights while avoiding conversations shared about sacrifice. And the result was subtle. Each generation became slightly less connected to obligations that produced the society they inherited. And the issue is not that sacrifice disappeared completely. Parents will sacrifice, volunteers still sacrifice, many citizens still sacrifice. The issue is whether sacrifice remains respected public virtue. Because democracies require citizens willing to endure inconvenience for collective stability. And communities require individuals willing to serve others. Nations require generations willing to invest beyond their own lifetimes. While sacrifice becomes unfashionable, societies often continue functioning for years, sometimes decades, living off reserves built by earlier generations. But eventually those reserves begin running low. And when that moment arrives, societies discover a difficult truth. The future cannot be inherited indefinitely. And at some point, it must be built again. I'll see you in the next episode when the future became someone else's responsibility.